And Mr. Cates, are you here on the 12-02-493?
I believe so, yes.
All right, all right. Yeah, this is fine. All right, so we're on the record in docket 12-02-493. Will the plaintiff and parties, Mr. Cates, please introduce yourselves for the record.
Good morning, Your Honor. Andrew Cates, P78292, standing in for the attorney of record and represent.
All right, and ma'am, you are Cassandra Pacino?
Yes.
All right. This is the time set for this was a continuation from a motion. And you, ma'am, you were objecting to the garnishment. I think we put it over so that you could get some information to the attorney, Mr. Renner. Is that correct?
Yes.
All right. Have you been able to do that?
I sent over, my check stubs, everything else. He's the one, they're the ones that filed, so they should have all that record.
Okay. Well, they filed the garnishment, correct? And then you have the objection to the garnishment. Yeah. Mr. Cates, were you able to receive that paperwork from Ms. Pacina?
I did receive I am in receipt of her pay stubs. There is no proof of a prior garnishment. I know that was the crux of the last court appearance here, and there's nothing showing that other than what the payments that were reported by our office the last time were made. I'm not seeing anything that shows a over $2,000 garnishment. We've collected $374.82 from the defendant as of today.
All right. So you saw nothing in the paperwork that would indicate that there was a previous garnishment?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Ms. Pacina?
Yeah. So when I went upstairs or to the 5th floor, I asked them to print me out any papers, and they said that the only person that garnished my wages at that time was John Pavlik, and it has it right here that on 5/20/16 you guys did a writ to CSL Plasma, which is where I have my check stubs, and I have proof that this miscellaneous deduction is a wage garnishment, and I have proof that I've paid them.
Did you send them that paperwork?
I didn't know that I had to send them this because they were the ones that filed it. So I thought they would have that. So I apologize. I didn't send them that. However, I did send them this. Which is
let me see the document.
Okay, which
the prior. I want to know what you sent Mr. Cates. Thank you.
Oh, I didn't send him that. I just sent him my.
So Mr. Cates, I'm in possession of a document. It looks like a register of actions document that has a judgment of consent and judgment damages entered of July 13th, 2012. That would be this file, wouldn't it be?
Mhm.
Yes, sir. I believe so. Let me check my.
I'm just making sure you have the paperwork that you should. Because I don't think you have this, Mr. Cates.
No, I don't have that. I don't have what you're looking at. I mean, like I said, the only thing I received from the defendant was a couple of pay stubs.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, and I apologize. I just was under the impression, again, like I said, they were the ones that put the writ out. So I just assumed that him being their lawyer, that he would have all that information.
But you're objecting to the writ. So now you're objecting to the writ they put out. Right. So.
Okay.
So I want to make sure that they have the information you have.
Okay.
Is there any other information you have that you think they should have?
I mean, this is from these are my check stubs that I sent, but this is.
You
the
sent them to
email.
Chuck Stubbs.
Yep, and this is the email that states what I highlighted is actually what it was. And that's all I could get from them.
Which, this is your email between,
Between the CSL Plasma's HR.
all right. Do you have that? Do you have the emails between Ms. Pacino and,
I didn't send that either. I just realized that as I sat here right now.
all right, so you don't, this is more paperwork that you don't have. Mr. Cates, I think what I want to do is make sure you have all the paperwork so that we can make sure Ms. Pacina's case, her objection is supported. If not, and maybe you can explain some of these documents to me. This is a register of actions. So the court would have access to this, but I want to make sure you have access to this, Mr. Cates. And then the emails, I want to make sure you also have access to this. Do you have an email we could scan this to?
Let me check.
Because that's my thought process on this, is once again to adjourn this, make sure you have all the paperwork you're supposed to have, and call this back in a week to make to go over it, and I'll see that my office scans the documents to you at a place that you can look at it.
Well, I don't have Mr. Renner's email address. Doesn't.
Is that something we could email to you and you could forward to Mr. Renner?
I would be willing to do that. Yes, Your Honor.
All right. What's a good email that we could send it to you and then we could forward it to you?
It would be A-K-A. No, K-A. A-K-A.
Say it again. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. It's my first initial and my last name.
Okay. A Cates.
Yes. A-Kates, L-A-W @gmail.com.
A Cates Law at, go ahead. I didn't hear the end of it.
Gmail.com.
Gmail.com. Okay. So just so we have it, akateslaw@gmail.com, and you'll forward these two packets to Mr. Renner.
Yes, sir.
All right. And then let's get a date to come back, because I want to make sure if Ms. Pacina is talking about paperwork that Mr. Renner has it and that you have it, so that we're all on the same page. I'm going to indicate that the defendant Pacino had new paperwork, had new documents that were not originally sent. The court's going to send them to plaintiff, and we'll come back here in a week, a week or so, depending on Mr. Renner's schedule, or something timely to follow up on this.
A week will be fine. Either Mr. Renner or myself will be here for that.
All right. So what do we have on the 10th? Oh, I'm not here on the 10th. Yeah. So we'll have to do it on the 17th.
What?
July 17th? So we'll do July 17th. I forgot I'm out next week. So July 17th at 8:30. And what I'm going to have to do is, ma'am, if you wait, I'm going to have my court officer email these documents to Mr. Cates, and I'll go ahead and put and then once everybody has the same paperwork, we can see where we are in regards to the objection. Okay. All right. Any questions, Mr. Cates?
No, Your Honor. Thank you so much.
All right. So let's, I'll have, and then you can get the originals from my court officer. All right.
Okay.
All right. We'll have to have their paper, Nathaniel. Thank you.
Sorry.
All right. That's it. That's all for the record in docket 1202493. Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for your appearance. Thank you, Mr. Cates, and thank you, Ms. Pacina.
Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
And then Mr. Yeah, those two of the paperclip. Yep. And then Mr. Woodrow, you're here on your 8:30 with Michelle Loudon.
Correct, Your Honor.
All right. All right, so we're on the record in docket 2203-922. That is LG Lansing LLC versus Michelle Loudon. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Good morning, Your Honor. Hugh Woodrow, P56468, appearing on behalf of the plaintiff LG Lansing LLC.
All right, and ma'am, you are Michelle Loudon?
I am, thank you.
All right, and this is the time set. I have it set for a hearing. It was previously set for a live hearing. It would appear that at the time, there was evidence the defendant failed to appear. I also have a conditional dismissal that was admitted, that was given to the court.
Yes, Your Honor.
So
When we were there last time, Ms. Loudon and my client had worked out some kind of a deal on the conditional dismissal, but since she didn't show up, we couldn't enter the conditional dismissal, so we ended up getting a default judgment. But after that hearing, my client and Ms. Loudon spoke again, and they have agreed to set aside the default judgment and enter into the conditional dismissal that we have presented.
All right, and is that correct, Ms. Loudon?
That is correct. I apologize
All
for
right.
not being present at the previous hearing and making us need more time, so.
All right, so first of all, in regards to conditional dismissal, Ms. Loudon, since I have you here, let me explain to you, and you're unrepresented, I want to make sure and explain to you, you understand that you signed this conditional dismissal, and from the date of my signature, you have 3 days to indicate, to at least to bring a motion to indicate that you want this set aside, for the reason being you didn't understand what we did today. Do you understand that, ma'am?
Are you talking about say it one more time, because maybe I don't.
All right, yeah, this is, so I have a conditional dismissal in front of me, and it was signed by you on May 12th, 2023. Is that correct?
Wow, that's a long time ago. I'm gonna say correct, because yes, I trust you.
I just have a conditional dismissal, and it says Michelle Loudon, May 12th, 2023. So this must have been the original conditional dismissal. Is that correct, Mr. Woodrow?
Actually, I believe that was right after the default was
Okay.
entered.
Yeah, because it's dated May 12th, and the default was entered May 1st. But
Okay.
regardless, so
Yes,
this is a conditional dismissal, and ma'am, you understand that as part of the conditional dismissal, the rent was $8,890, court costs $156, for a total of $9,046. Defendant will pay $2,400 per month until arrearages are paid in full. Rent shall continue to accrue at the normal rent amount, plus the insurance and pet fees. And then the action may proceed without further notice if there's a violation of this conditional dismissal. Do you understand that, ma'am?
I do understand that, yes.
All right, and so we're working from the same document. I just want to make sure that you understand, and I will check that you have 3 days from today's date. I'm going to sign it on today's date, and you have 3 days from today's date to file a motion to say that you didn't understand what we did today, although we just went through it all. Do you understand that?
I get it. I do understand that now, yes.
All right, good. I'm just making sure that you understand your rights in this, and that's all covered.
Thank you.
Do we know that? All right, and I have a note here. When is rent due, Mr. Woodrow, to avoid any of the consequences of the conditional dismissal?
They're due on the first of the month, Your Honor.
Okay, first of the month. All right, so Ms. Loudon, you understand that rent is due at the first of the month and payments are due at the first of the month to avoid the consequences of some of the issues concerning the conditional dismissal?
Okay, so no, I don't agree with that. I think is Bessie on the line? I believe I saw her in the
Yes.
room.
My client is here.
She- Yeah, she's here. The property manager for LG is here.
Okay, so I'm under the impression.
So let me
that as long
do
as-
this, Miss Loudon.
Sure.
Can Mr. Woodrow, how about if I put you in a breakout room with Bessie Wood, so to make sure everybody's on the same page?
Not
Because
a
it
problem.
appears that,
That'd be
all
fantastic.
right. Yeah, just to make sure that everybody
Sure.
understands all the implications of the conditional dismissal. All right, Miss Loudon?
Thank you.
All right, so I'm going to have Miss Clark, Mr. Woodrow, and Miss Loudon placed in a breakout room. You should get a prompt to go to room 1.
Yep.
All right. And you also, Miss Clark, you should get a prompt. There you go. You said we didn't have. All right, Mr. Heinz, we can call your case.
Good morning, Your
Let's
Honor.
docket. Good morning. How are you?
Good, good.
So we're on the record in docket 23-00137. It's Davenport University versus Aurora Elizabeth Marin. Will the parties please introduce themselves to the record?
John Hintz appearing for the plaintiff, Davenport University.
Right, this is the time set for a pre-trial on this civil matter. It was initially set for 8:30. It is now 8:55. I do not see an Aurora Marin in the Zoom courtroom. There's nobody by that name in the physical courtroom. I'll admit Ms. Stasiak. There's nobody by that name in the physical courtroom. So, Mr. Heinz, it would appear that Ms. Marin has failed to appear for the pretrial. I do have a letter from Miss Marin indicating that, do you have that letter, Mr. Heinz?
I do, Your Honor.
right.
I have that letter, and based on the information that she provided in that letter, after I received that letter, I tried to call her at the indicated number in the answer, and I actually also emailed her at the email address that was provided in the answer on May 31st and June 7th. I never received a response because certainly wanted to try and work something out before, prior to coming to court. And I've received no response, Your Honor.
Okay. Well, it would appear, regardless, it would appear that that was on a May 7th. This is July 3rd. I don't have anything to indicate. I have it mailed to the same address. That's on Catherine Street.
Mhm.
I also have, so that letter came from Catherine Street. We signed an order of alternative service.
Yes, Your
So
Honor.
I think Ms. Marin knew she was, so how would you like to proceed, Mr. Heinz, on this matter?
Your Honor, as the court has indicated, notice was sent out to the address she indicated on her answer. The court has tried to contact her. I have tried to call her and email her at the address. I'd respectfully ask the court to enter a default judgment, which I would be willing to submit, but I will submit it under the 7-day rule, Your Honor, just to give her an opportunity for some reason if she something came up or whatever.
Right, and I mean, she did contact the court, but that was at the beginning of May.
Yeah.
It's been a couple months, and I don't think the court or I don't think you've had any dealings with her, as you indicated.
No, Your
All
Honor,
right.
no feelings with her at all. So we're certainly that'd be more than fair, and we can if I can submit the default judgment, but I'll do it under the 7-day rule just to give her an opportunity for her to come back for whatever reason.
Oh, all right. So I will await Order to follow. I think they know what that means from me now. But OTF, order to follow, and I will take a look at the default judgment under the 7-day rule, which would give her an additional 7 days to look at that order, and then to contact either yourself or myself concerning the default judgment. But I will orally give it. Of course, it doesn't take effect till I sign it. But anything else on the record in docket 23-00137, Mr. Hines?
No, Your Honor, not at all. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you. Have a nice week. Enjoy
You
your
too, Your
fourth.
Honor. Same here, Your Honor. Same to you. Take care.
And then Mr. Woodrow, did you have the opportunity? I just wanted to make sure that everybody was on the same page on docket 22-03922. Just to make sure that so you had the opportunity to meet with Miss Loudon and Miss Clark in a breakout room?
I did, Your Honor, and I guess the confusion was that when you asked when rent was due, technically rent is due on the first of the month. However, the situation between Miss Loudon and the landlord is that she can make bi-weekly payments to make sure that the
Okay.
rent and the payment and the conditional dismissal are paid in time.
All right. And that's your understanding, Miss Loudon?
That is my understanding.
All right. That was part of the confusion. All right. With then, in regards to this file, I will sign the conditional dismissal after indicating to Miss Loudon some of her rights in the matter. Is there anything you needed, Mr. Woodrow, on this file?
No, Your Honor.
All right. Miss Loudon, did you have any questions of me before I sign the document?
No, Your Honor.
All right. I see the stipulation. All right, I'm going to sign the document dated today's date. And we should be all set.
Thank you, Judge. Have a-
Anything else for the record, docket 22-03922, Mr. Woodrow?
No, Your Honor.
Miss Loudon, are you all set? Do you have any questions?
No, Your Honor.
All right, Miss Clark, Mr. Woodrow, Miss Loudon, thank you for your appearance today. Enjoy your 4th of July.
You too,
You as well.
Judge. Thank you.
Bye, everybody.
Thank you. So, Mr. Venker, you're here from the city attorney's office on is that Property Ventures?
Yes, Joseph Puertas.
Yeah, and who's the defendant? Who's the representative of Property Ventures on that?
I do not.
I don't
know.
have an attorney on that. Do you have an attorney on that?
Haven't seen entry of one.
All right. Who is the representative of Property Ventures? Just so I can.
I mean, I don't actually know. The name defendant is
All
Puertas,
right.
but I've not been contacted by anyone about it, so I don't know.
All right. Let me see if I have. Tickets. You have anybody on there? I'm just wondering who's gonna come in their behalf, and we don't have anyone, so
Right.
let's give that some time to see who shows up, but I don't have anybody. I don't have like a representative or a name to call or anything along those lines.
Right, and unless Mr. Puertas shows up, that's the best intel I've got.
What's the name again?
Puertas, Joseph.
Huertas. All right. Is there Joseph Huertas in the courtroom? All right, let's give some time. That's a 9 o'clock, so let's give a little bit of time and then we'll come back to it.
That's
I'm
fine.
just making sure I know who's here. Thank you.
Yep, I'll just hang out and mute if that's okay.
All right.
Thank you.
All right, Ms. Bordeo, we'll call your case to the record. So we're on the record in docket 23-00886. That is City of Lansing versus Alexis Bordeo. Will the parties please introduce themselves to the record?
Good morning, Your Honor. Assistant City Attorney Amanda Williams appearing on behalf of the City of Lansing.
Aaron Robinson, Assistant Public Defender for Ms. Bordio.
And ma'am, you are Alexis Bordeo?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right. This is the time set for a pretrial in the matter. Ms. Williams, how are we proceeding?
Your Honor, would like to request an adjournment for 30 days for compliance purposes.
That's your understanding, Ms. Robinson?
It is.
All right. Ms. Bordeo, your understanding is we're going to adjourn this 30 days for compliance. We had the initial pretrial that was on June 20th. And so this is a fairly recent case, but we're going to, so make sure and keep contact with your attorney, Aaron Robinson, with any paperwork that you might want the city attorney to see. All right, ma'am?
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, we're going to reset it for July 31st at 9 a.m. So July 31st at 9 a.m. is your reset date. Any questions concerning file 23-00886, Ms. Williams?
No, Your Honor, thank
Ms.
you.
Robinson?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Thank you. All right, Ms. Bordeo, you're all set. We'll see you on July 31st at 9 a.m. All right, ma'am?
Thank you.
All right, thank you.
I'm also ready on Ms. Houston as well, Judge. She's in the courtroom.
Is she here?
Yep, she's in the courtroom.
All right.
Come on.
And that's with an all right, we're on the record in docket 23-01679. and the accompanying ticket. That's City of Lansing versus Jacqueline Houston. Will the parties please introduce themselves for the record?
Assistant City Attorney Amani Williams appearing on behalf of the City of Lansing.
Aaron Robinson, Assistant Public Defender for Ms. Houston.
And ma'am, you are Jacqueline Houston? All right, thank you. This is the time set for a pre-trial on the file and the accompanying ticket. Ms. Williams, how are we proceeding?
The city moves to dismiss at this time, Your Honor.
And is this on a warrant or a ticket? Ticket.
Yes.
2 tickets, okay. And is that your understanding, Ms. Robinson?
It is, and we have no objection.
All right. All right, Ms. Houston, the city of Lansing has moved to dismiss both the file and the ticket in this matter without prejudice, which means that they could bring it back if they want to, but for our purposes today, both the ticket and the corresponding file are dismissed. All right, ma'am? All right. Anything else for the record in docket 23016779 or the accompanying ticket, Ms. Williams?
No, Your Honor, thank you.
Ms. Robinson?
No, all set. Thank you.
All right, thank you. You're all set, ma'am. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
No problem. Good day.
Just to check, was Latoris Roberts, Polycom were read over for today?
I believe they put them on her filing.
I think they're Polycom. I think, yeah. Was that Friday? Yeah.
I thought that's what he had said.
This building's empty today.
The whole street is.
So I was,
Little hill is very-
driving here. There's nobody on the road. There's nobody parked next to me.
Yep.
Yes, all of our people in jail are from Polycom.
Okay, thank you.
Hi, Sean.
Just want to give you, a heads up, Your Honor, there may be some issues with Polycom today.
Okay,
The jail connections dropped all weekend. Went down.
okay,
IT's looking at it now, but you may have trouble making calls or receiving calls.
all right,
Just so you know. I think they've got to reset the video border practice server in IT
all right,
and just power it down, power it back up.
all right. Just let me know.
I'll give you a heads up.
Okay.
Thank you.
Nice, the jail is.
So how did they rate these? Did they rate in person?
They may have.
We can't.
Yeah, you did.
Our office policy, we can't.
That throws a new wrinkle in that reasonable time, arraignment in a reasonable time.
Yeah.
Your office can't do in-person arraignments?
We can't do in-person intake.
No. I always like that we did arraignment the next morning, and some counties don't do that.
It's always interesting because we do weekend arraignments. There's a public defender in doing arraignments 365 days a year. So I never quite understand how people don't get arraigned.
Some counties don't have.
Oh, I know. With Muskegon, when I worked, they didn't do weekends.
Yeah, so if you get arrested on a Friday night, you're not getting arraigned till Monday.
Yep.
I think that's a problem.
Yeah.
You're sitting in jail for 2 days.
Yeah. It's a Friday. They used to call it Friday.
72 hours, but that's so long to just sit there.
Yeah, they used to call it a Friday night arrest in like Mecosta County and some of those
Regular
counties
still.
don't have, like Midland still doesn't have a public defender's office.
Right.
Oh.
There's a lot of counties without one still.
Right.
It's like 84 counties and 50 some have PD offices.
Oh. But that's, in Ingham, we've always arraigned them the next morning, even when we didn't have Zoom, you'd come in person. Now, they didn't always have a public defender's office, but we had an arraignment.
There was-
Matter of fact, as a matter of fact, that's kind of how we knew that. That's kind of how we knew right off the bat. If you come in and you're arraigned and your lawyer's from Chicago, that tells us something. That would tell the court and that would tell the prosecutor's office that like there's some money here. Because we had that. We'd arraign people from Chicago, and they'd come in and they wanted to plead on the nose at times. So what do you do? Nothing. Your answer is nothing. Yeah. No. What's that? Yeah. unmute. Mr. Venker, you have Property Ventures.
Yes, Your Honor.
Let's go ahead and call that case. So we're on the record in docket. It's a ticket 23013401. That's the City of Lansing versus Ventures of, I don't know, Property Ventures of Michigan LLC. Will the parties please introduce themselves to the record?
City of Lansing appears by Assistant City Attorney Greg Venker via Zoom. Present also from the city, our zoning administrator is Sue Statuick. To my knowledge,
Thank you.
defendant has not appeared.
Yeah, and so I've checked the Zoom courtroom and I don't see anybody in the Zoom courtroom. There's nobody in the waiting room. There's nobody in the physical courtroom. So I'd be calling out for a representative from Property Ventures of Michigan LLC. Nathaniel, go ahead and just check the hallway just to see if anybody from Property Ventures is out there. I don't have. So we'd be looking for a representative of Property Ventures. No, there's nobody out there. That's a big surprise on July 3rd. Mr. Venker, this was scheduled for 9 o'clock. It is now 9:33. It would appear that
Oh. I don't know if the court can hear me. I just lost